Hi, it's Mark Atchley. I'm back with another exciting and educational video. Today we're going to talk a little about discharging personal income tax debt in bankruptcy. Yes, it's true, some income tax debt is dischargeable in bankruptcy, but there are certain criteria. Let's call them the 5 rules for tax dischargeability. First, in order to discharge income tax liability for a certain year, your tax return must have come due at least 3 years before the filing of the bankruptcy petition. So let's say you owe 2012 taxes to the IRS and your 2012 tax return came due on April 15th of the following year, which was 2013. Then 3 years from that date, on April 15th, 2016, those taxes would be dischargeable under this rule. If you got an extension through October, then of course it'd be 3 years from October. Second rule, the 2-year rule, you must have filed your tax return at least 2 years before the filing of the bankruptcy. It follows that if you haven't yet filed your tax return for a certain year, that year wouldn't be dischargeable in bankruptcy. And it also follows that if you filed your tax return on time, the second rule is irrelevant because you have to wait 3 years anyway on rule number 1, the 3-year rule. Third, I can't discharge taxes assessed within the last 240 days, which is about 8 months. So if the IRS reevaluated an old return that you filed and they assessed additional taxes for a certain year, you'd have to wait until 8 months after that assessment before you could discharge those new taxes. Fourth, no willful tax evasion. If the IRS or another tax agency believes that you're willfully avoiding paying taxes, that tax debt is non-dischargeable. And finally, fifth, I can't discharge taxes based on a fraudulent tax return. If your tax liability meets all 5 of these rules, then we can successfully discharge your tax liability in a bankruptcy case. If you have tax liability and you're thinking about a bankruptcy, it makes sense to do a little pre-bankruptcy planning and to calculate the exact day that your taxes will become dischargeable. Pre-bankruptcy planning is always a good idea. I'm Mark Atchley. Feel free to contact me with any questions.